Hello everybody and welcome to Judge Mathas, and today on trial stands Sir, You Are Being Hunted. About 8 months ago, I actually did an early look on this game because it had been on Kickstarter and had a wildly successful Kickstarter, raising more than double what they were asking for, had become and been put on early access for Steam, and was making kind of a big splash. Well, as of last week, I do believe, you can see at the bottom, version 1.0 has been released on Steam. It is officially out, meaning it is feature complete, and I want to come back and take a look at the game. Now, I did play a little bit before I started recording just to see what was added and get a feel for how the game played again, and I've had a really good time playing it. So we're going to get back into it and play. So, big question. What is Sir, You Are Being Hunted, in case you are not aware? Well, Sir, You Are Being Hunted is a survival stealth game. The object of the game is to go around 5 different islands collecting parts to get your teleporter working to get you back home, all the while being hunted by robot, dapper 1950s gentlemen, as you can see right here. So let's go ahead and hit a new game. And as you can see, I have a little bit of a game going there. We're going to start a brand new world, and we're going to start off with a class choice. So this is something new that wasn't in the game before. You can choose a class to start as. You are default the aristocrat, which gives you rags for bandages in case you get shot. You also have the gameskeeper, which is considered easy because you get a bunch of starting equipment that is going to help you survive. We've got stuff like the inventor, medium difficulty because he has a bunch of gadgets and stuff that he can use. The officer, basically all kinds of guns and stuff. The cook, the artist, so on and so forth. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 classes all told. I'm going to just play as the aristocrat because it's kind of the default way to play. You don't get anything other than some bandages, and that's how I prefer to play these games. And we'll hit done. Next up, you're going to choose your island defaults. So they're randomly selected at the beginning. The way I like to do it, though, is to play a little bit of everything. So my center island is always considered rural. This is what you start at, is the center island. We'll have the northern island be industrial, southern island be mountain. We'll have fens and the western island, and castle in the eastern island. So you start out in the center island, and there are, I believe, 5 teleporter pieces per island. And from the center island, there are boats all around it that you could take to these other islands. So we'll go ahead and hit build. And it does take quite a while to get the game built, to get the islands built. So I'm going to cut the recording here, and I will be back once the game is done loading. And here we are, within the game itself. So, every game starts you right here, looking at these 3 things. We have ourselves this little glowing stone here. What this is for is to drop off your robotic pieces. We have the actual robotic piece, the teleporter piece rather, over here, which you can go ahead and grab. The way it works is you kind of just drag it over, and you can bring it over here. Now, each particular robotic piece or teleporter piece is of a different size. We can go ahead and click save there. Some taking up more inventory space than others, and then this teaches you how to interact with things. So we're going to go ahead and grab all of this stuff. We're going to go ahead and put our binoculars at level 1. We're going to put a bottle at number 2, alarm clock at 3. Now what these are all is just things to distract other robots, to kind of move them away. And here we are. So every island is randomly generated upon your arrival. The first thing you're going to notice is the aesthetic of the game is very... It's kind of a cool art decision, I guess is a good way to put it. It's not exactly amazing looking, but because it went for a particular art style, it pulls it off really well. It's got this old-timey kind of feel. It almost feels like it has a, I don't know if I can actually throw this. No, I can't. It almost has this kind of weird, like, film grain kind of look over it, where it's supposed to be... Whoa, what was that? That's a... Is that a rabbit? Ah, that's a rabbit. Okay, cool. It's anyway, it's got this kind of old filmy grain kind of look to it, where everything's got the sepia tone look, and I really like that a lot. It kind of adds to the atmosphere. So, like I said, the idea in this game, oh, we already have a robot over there. The idea in this game is to collect these teleporter pieces and move on to the next island and do the same for each one. The problem is you're being hunted the entirety of the game's time. As you can see, we already have robots over there, and the longer you take to get these robotic pieces, the more robots are wandering around the island, and different types of robots will show up and kind of hunt you down. This is one of the games, in my opinion, that actually scares me a little bit more than it should. Because you are almost defenseless, at least early on, unless of course you take the officer. Staying out of these robots' vision and staying away from them is kind of the main goal and the main gameplay mechanics that you're working with. And to hear them wandering around and hear them saying things in their weird robotic tones and marching around and seeing them off in the distance can be kind of terrifying, and that's good. That's really good because it kind of gets your blood pumping. This is one of the very few stealth-oriented games that has actually felt like it's focused on stealth in a long time. I used to be a massive stealth game fanatic. I played all the old Metal Gears and Splinter Cells, the older ones, were some of my favorites. But those kind of have disappeared off of my radar as of late because of how those games have gone as of recently, particularly Splinter Cell kind of going away from the stealth. So a quick overview of the HUD. At the bottom left, we have our vitality, which is our hunger. We do need to eat. As time goes, we are using up vitality. Our health, which if you're getting shot, goes down very, very quickly. And our visibility. Our visibility changes depending on what kind of grass we're in, what we're hiding behind, this, that, and the other. And I can't tell if they're just kind of sitting around. In the bottom right, we have ourselves our ammo and our rounds, if we have any. And the current item we have currently equipped. If we stand up by hitting the C button, our visibility goes up. If we hit C to crouch, our visibility goes down. Now, one of the main things you're going to want to do early on in the game, looks like they're starting to walk away, is to head to these houses and loot the shit out of them. You just go up to the door, and you can hit F, and you kind of look inside to see what they've got. So we've got a small stone. I hear a robot. We're going to grab all this stuff. We'll take a look at it after. Yeah, I hear them. I just don't know where they are. So that's what I'm saying. You can hear things. Hey, TV smells. So there is a leaning mechanic. Oh, shit. There's a balloon over there. We're actually going to end up sprinting now. We need to get the hell out of here. Just going to move. We got to run, run, run. Holding down shift obviously makes you incredibly visible. But it's very important to do it sometimes because you're going to get chased like that. He definitely saw me. But we got out of there. I think we're all right. Alright, so we ended up grabbing, let's hide over here for a minute. Let's just hide by this tree. And if we stop moving, our visibility goes down to 0, which is good. Alright, so let's pop open our inventory. So what we ended up grabbing was some blight-ridden spuds, which means we could eat them, but they're of dubious quality, meaning we could get sick or it could hurt us more than help us. Same thing with dead rats. We got a bag of mints, which is good. This is going to feed us. A rock, which we can actually throw. And some ammo. Oh, shit. Okay, hang on. I heard their beeping and booping from a decent distance away there. There he is, okay. Keep moving. Gonna have to use this tree. So, that's kind of what you want to do early in the game, is go to these houses if you can, and loot the hell out of them. So you might be asking then, is there a map, Mathas? How the hell do you find the teleporter pieces, or do you just wander aimlessly? Well, you might have noticed that there was a blue glowing, like, fairy-looking thing, almost like Navi from Zelda, flying around. And those are all over the map. And what they do, if you follow them, is lead you to robotic pieces. Or I keep saying robotic pieces. Teleporter pieces that you can pick up. So following them is going to be kind of your key to success in these island parts. Oh, man. Now, there is a day-night cycle as well as some weather that happens throughout the game. Because of the day-night cycle, though, it means it's safer to move during certain parts of the day as opposed to others. So nighttime is a really good time to move, more in the open areas than it would be during the day. And there are going to be environmental hazards you're going to have to worry about as you maneuver too. So one of the big problems, particularly in little city areas, which we're actually going to make our way to that one way over there, are birds. Birds can cause you huge problems. If you are moving quickly or you kind of round a corner and walk yourself into a little flock of birds, the birds themselves tend to fly off and cause a lot of noise and a lot of visibility. And robots from further off in the distance tend to flock towards them and see what the hell caused it. So you kind of have to keep yourself out of those distances. There are other things as well, like those balloons. Those are basically searchlights that float across the map to look for you. Gotta get out of those. And later on in the game, there are other types of robots and monsters that are being used. The robots tend to lead these gigantic looking like things from what I remember, walking around, and they can cause a lot of damage. And they are very keen on finding you. So it looks like there is a little blue fairy thing flying around over here. If we could follow it, we might be able to get ourselves a piece of robotic or teleporter equipment. I'm not sure where it's going. I'm going to actually eat a can of tuna that we actually start with and bring our vitality back up to 100 here. I'm going to make my way over here and see what I can do. See if I can find anything. Now, you're going to see up at top which direction we are heading. There are things that are indicating where boats are and so on and so forth. That little hexagon, I don't know what... I think it's actually like a pentagon. I don't know what that's leading to. There are a couple of robots over here, and I'm a little nervous. I want to head over there. This is a game that requires an incredible amount of patience as well. If you are a stealth game fanatic, you're going to absolutely love this game. You truly are. It is made to play as a stealth game. It is incredibly difficult as well. The game is no holds bar. It is going to kick your ass if you're not patient and careful with your maneuvering. Now, granted, there are going to be parts of the game where you're going to have to hurry along, especially if you're low on food and your vitality's dropping. But it rewards the patient. So let's see if we can actually make our way up to these houses without being seen. Ooh, this is actually risking it quite a bit. Nope, he sees me. Oh, fuck. Yep, so with his guns, their guns make a fuck ton of noise. Let's see if we can get the hell out of there. Oh, shit! Okay, well, we're shot. Okay, we gotta go. We're bleeding. Whoop. Zigzag. Serpentine pattern. We're bleeding very, very badly. If we could just cut vision here. I don't know if this is actually gonna work, but we're gonna stop.
I would advocate discretion, sir. It might be best to run and hide, but if you have found a weapon, perhaps
we're dead. Oh, Jesus, please don't shoot me. Ah, fuck. Okay. Into the tall grass. Ow! Okay, this game, like I said, is hard. We're getting shot big time. Oh, man. Now, tall grass is good because it's hard for them to find us. Oh, man, he's gonna see us. Oh, and we're dead. And that is how ruthless this game can be. That is incredibly how ruthless this game can be. So let's go to the main menu here, and let's start a new game with a new class. So let's play as, for instance, the officer. Let's go ahead and play as him. Castle, rural, industrial. We want mountain, and fen. All right, I will be right back as this game loads up. Okay, we are loaded up, and now we're playing as the officer, so let's see what we get. We're going to get a lot of weapons and ammo, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to get ourselves a pit. Oh, we already have all that good stuff. All right.
Very useful. Now you can observe your pursuers while keeping a safe distance.
What is this? Patriotic crockery! God save the queen. So we have ourselves a pistol, which we can aim, and a rifle, which we can do some aiming as well. Now, obviously, if you take a look at the textures on the rifle and the pistol, they're kind of garbage. Not gonna lie, they're not exactly that great, but they serve their purpose. Not a big deal. The game obviously doesn't really thrive on its aesthetic as much as it does its gameplay. This game is incredibly gameplay driven. Again, I still think the aesthetic of the game is nice. I like it a whole lot. I think it serves its purpose really well, but I can see why some people might not be huge fans of how it looks. Alright, so let's keep on going. All the town names, by the way, for these little towns are randomly generated. So this is Hedgeborough, randomly generated town name. If we take a look really close, obviously the texture work is kind of awful.
It looks like there's something useful in there.
Still.
Oh,
what?
And if you find anything edible, don't.
I do hear robots.
Too closely.
The narrator, your little butler, who's basically wants you back, is effing hilarious. By the way, he is so. What's the word I'm looking for? Cynical. Alright, so there's definitely some robots in the woods over there. We'll take that opportunity to hopefully loot up this place. So let's jump over the fence. Let's run ourselves over here. Now, we do have weapons, so we can defend ourselves pretty decently. Gonna get rid of this. Oh, God. I'm gonna take out our pistol just in case. Now, the good thing about the soldier is that we can, or the officer or whatever, is that we can shoot the robots and take their ammo. Oh, a trap. Canteen. Gotta stay careful. So there's a bird over there. There's a bunch of birds over here. Oop. So we'll, ooh, there's 2 robots. Oop. Yeah, that means he may have seen us. But, they gave up searching for us just because it was kind of one of those alerts, like, exclamation points in something like Metal Gear Solid. Oh, fuck you. Alright, well. We're gonna dive into here. And hope that they don't see us. If they do, we'll end up opening fire. But I think we're all right. They saw that the reason they're all running over there is because you heard the birds flock away. Obviously, problematic. Okay, so let's move. Man, this game is a little bit scary. It's amazing how these dapper robots can instill such fear into somebody like me. Alright, let's actually go back this way and maybe head a different direction. There's 4 robots over there, which is fucking garbage. There is another town down that way, but there's a spotlight hanging over it. Now, of course, you can shoot it down. Oh, fuck. Really? Is he alone? If he's alone, I'm actually willing to maybe pop him. Whoa. Now that... Alright, let's take a look. That does not look good at all. Those textures look completely stretched. Probably part of the random generation of the world and the way it's built, but it looks goddamn bad. Oh. Alright, we're gonna pop a shot. Let's go ahead and reload. So it looks like it's a 1-round shot. But it's a 1-shot kill. So we actually took him out and alerted nobody else. We actually broke his shotgun. I wonder if that's a randomly decided thing after killing one. But he's no longer a problem, which is good. So we can head into this town, hopefully relatively safely, and loot the hell out of it. Maybe get some food or something, because we don't have much in the way of food. Hard-boiled haggis. In fact, let's actually use this and restore our vitality. Dubious things. I hear lots and lots of clicking. I'm just not sure what it is. You would think it's a robot. Lots of rats in case you're desperate. But I try not to take them. Another trap. Let's actually put that in our hotbar. Mints, that's actually really good. Smoking kills. So what I assume this will do is up... I assume smoking would up our vitality, lower our health. I have no idea. I would love to see a little smoke come from my character as we do this. Now, this is... Whoop, that was a mistake. This is a game that was actually, like I said, kickstarted. And actually something I'm curious about... Oh, fuck. Something I'm very curious about this game is one of the goals of the game, one of the stretch goals, was multiplayer. And they actually reached the multiplayer Kickstarter goal. But the multiplayer isn't in the game yet. And I didn't do any of the reading and whatnot. I'm actually curious if that's still in development. But for me, what I'm judging this game on isn't its multiplayer stretch goal. I'm judging this game on whether or not it met what it was trying to do. And so far, I'd say that, yes, in fact, this game has met exactly what it promised to do initially, and to some great success. Now, from when I last looked at it, when I'm looking at it now, am I noticing massive differences? No, not yet. It actually is very similar to the game it was back 8 months ago, with the exception of maybe a lot more maybe weapons, class systems, polish, and enemy types. It doesn't mean that it's still not good, though. But this is something I'm actually worried about as far as early access games are concerned, because this is one of those things that I think bears discussion, is that, you know, the big thing about getting your game out on Steam is getting to be able to release it and, you know, have that huge sales spike and be like, you know, we are a success. But when that game actually releases in a fairly playable state in early access, will you actually end up plateauing way earlier than you expect to? For instance, and I remember seeing this, I believe it was Mike Bithell that brought it up. but I could be could be sparse vector on Twitter. One of the big discussion points that people are having is, does early access actually hinder your sales? And I think this is something that's worth talking about, because for this game in particular, I think was the topic. There was a huge sales spike when this game came out in early access, because this was a kind of a cool, unique idea that was focusing a heavily stealth-oriented niche. Ah, here's a robotic piece. This is awesome. A heavily stealth-oriented niche of the player market, and there was a huge sales spike for it when it came out. So we're gonna take this. Ooh, we need to make room. Discard, discard. Sorry, I'm gonna have to make some room here. Discard, discard, discard. Hopefully this is enough. It is. So we can now bring this back. This hits a very huge niche, and there was a big sales spike when it hit early access, because people were talking about it, people were excited for it. There was a, being talked about pretty much everywhere, articles, all this stuff, and now the game is officially out, officially released, fully 1.0 version, you're not hearing really hide nor hair of this game, because all the press kind of has already covered it. So if you take a look at the graph, the sales spike for its initial release, or its official release rather, is kind of downplayed a bit. There's not that much there. And honestly, the game, though really good and definitely has made some strides during its development over the past 8 months, is not markedly different enough, I'd say, in order to warrant, massive press coverage of the game right now. And I'm curious if early access with games that are very playable early on, that unless they make huge sweeping changes during its gameplay, are hurting themselves releasing themselves on early access. A couple of games that I don't think are really hurting themselves are things. More of
those, and we can activate the device.
Yay! A few. Anyway, other games that I don't think are hurting themselves that are actually pretty damn good are stuff like Nuclear Throne, because roguelikes.
Be very observant.
Okay,
sir.
God, damn it, dude, stop talking.
Startled wildlife could help.
You're really telling me this now?
Your pursuers. The eyes and ears of local fauna might be sharper than your own.
Thanks, buddy. Anyway, I was saying games like that aren't really affected, because not only are they, roguelites and they're almost infinitely replayable in some respect, but they're changing drastically. They're constantly adding tons and tons and tons of new content. While games like this, it seems like, though there's definitely new content, it was mostly a polished job, tweaking balance, this, that, and the other, and of course adding different enemy types. But because, as far as the player is concerned, the gameplay aspect of the game doesn't change drastically, I don't see this game getting at the amount of, the amount of attention that other games might. Are they shooting at me? What the Okay, there's gunplay going on, and I don't know why. Let's see if we can see what's going on. This is different. I don't know what's happening over here. Okay, this is definitely not something that I remember happening in the game. Again, there are new things, obviously. And my argument, in my opinion, still stands. But what the hell happened? If we could just get to the edge over here and use our binoculars, we might be able to see. Oh, shit. There are a bunch of robots over here, and I'm curious as to what is going on. And why there was a massive amount of fighting happening. So for me, I'm going to try and stay in the woods here. But they're around a robot, a teleporter piece rather. You could see the smoking. See that smoke right over there? Really off and barely off over the hill in the distance. That is indicating a teleporter piece that I need to get to. So whether I like it or not, I do need to get over there at some point. Hopefully most of these guys are going to wander away. But I'm very... Were they shooting other robots? Yeah, I'm very curious what was going on. And why there was they were shooting other robots. Interesting. And curious. Now, the problem I have here is that, you know, as another class, I might have something to throw. I do have a glass bottle, though. So we might have an opportunity to try and distract them. Also, I could shoot them if I get close enough, but that'll definitely pull around others. Now, hopefully... Oh, man, they definitely saw me. Okay, we're running, we're running, we're running, we're running. They have bad aim. Ah. Ow, fuck. Ow, ow, ow. Got one. Ah, I'm not bleeding, though. Keep running, keep running, keep running. Yeah, okay, fuck. God damn it, wildlife. Up and over. Okay, we might have gotten away. We took one shot, we took one down. We took a little damage, but we're not bleeding. That's actually really, really good. We got it, we got it, we got it, we got it. Damn, man. Alright, we're gonna make our way back, hopefully. The officer, definitely considered easy. Alright, well, we're gonna get this one back. If we get this one back, I would consider this particular thing a success. Now, if I remember correctly, this is going to be $20 on Steam or your regional equivalent. There will be a link in the description below to check it out. I highly suggest this game. I mean, I highly suggested it back when I was looking at it eight or so months ago because of what it was representing and the kind of audience it's aiming for. And I really think it scratches that stealth kind of niche, and it's surprisingly kind of scary to play. The feeling of being hunted, especially when you don't have a weapon, is pervasive. You know, you're kind of the only thing in the world that they care about. They're only looking for you. They want to kill you, and they will do anything in their power to ensure that you die. And to have that helpless feeling, I would suggest to get its full effect playing as the aristocrat, as somebody, or as a class that doesn't really have any means of self-defense, and kind of playing the world the way it's meant to be played, where you yourself are attempting to just survive and scavenge, you know, basically everything you can just to get to the next part of teleporter. Because as the officer, though, it's still pretty scary and pretty tense. Not nearly as much as if you were playing the aristocrat.
Be careful finding the next one.
Do be careful finding the next one. What's that mean? But yeah, this game is definitely good. This is Sir, You Are Being Hunted. Definitely a fun little game, and I highly suggest checking it out if you have not done so before. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy the game or it's something you're thinking about, make sure you check the description below to see if it's to click on that link and go grab it for yourself. And if you enjoyed this video, come back tomorrow for more videos just like it, and consider leaving a like. It helps me out a great deal. And as always, I'll see all you guys next time. Bye-bye.